Now, dear students, let's resume from where we stopped in the last video. In the previous video, we have discussed different rhetorical strategies, and we have already discussed two of the rhetorical strategies, such as description and narration. And in this video, we are going to discuss the remaining ones. So the third rhetorical strategy, which is discussed in the chapter, is illustration. Illustration, as a rhetorical mode, aims at explaining something with examples. Okay, so this is a particular method of writing academic essays using example in order to substantiate our point. Also, this is also known as exemplification, because this is a particular method which uses lot of examples, including graphs, images, pictures, tables, etc. All these things are used to illustrate the idea which we are going to discuss in the essay. For example, for instance, to illustrate a case in point is, here are a few examples. In particular, specifically, in this case, one example, another example, etc. All these things are used as transitional phrases in this kind of essays, illustrative essays. Okay, for example, for instance, to illustrate, these are the things which we usually use in academic writing for denoting or for giving examples in the essay. So some basic features of the illustrative essays are: thesis statements are illustrated or explained through examples. Okay, thesis statement is the main point of the essay, and the main point of the essay is elaborated and explained using examples. Audience should be taken into account while selecting examples. Okay, so we have to give examples in this kind of essay, but we should take good care of the audience, or we should have a good idea about the audience while selecting examples. For example, if we select some examples and audience are not familiar with those examples, it will not work, right? So we should keep the audience in mind while selecting the examples for our essays. Use sufficient number of examples. Okay, you can use a single example to make the idea clear to the audience, or if needed you can use more than one examples as well. The basic thing is to make the idea clear and understandable for the audience, and arrange examples in the order of their importance. Okay, that should be taken care of. The most important example, the most interesting example should be given in the beginning, and later on you can give less important examples. Charts, images, photographs, graphs, tables, etc. have to be used as examples. Okay, all these things can be used as examples. Next one is argumentation. So you might have heard about argumentative essays or persuasive essays. Okay, so argumentative essay or persuasive essay. So argumentative or persuasive writing persuades the reader to think in the way the writer wants them to think. Persuasive or persuade means പ്രേരിപ്പിക്കുക. Okay, so argumentative or persuasive writing persuades, പ്രേരിപ്പിക്കുന്നു, the reader to think in the way the writer wants them to think. Okay, obviously when we write an academic essay, we are putting for, or we actually proposes our own idea through the essay, and we want our readers to believe that idea which we are proposing through our essay. So argumentative or persuasive writing is the best one, or the best suited for this particular purpose. So through that essay, through this kind of essay, we make the reader believe what we think and proposes through our essay. It consists of a set of debatable statements. Usually argumentative or persuasive essay consist of a set of debatable statements. Okay, statements that can be debated upon, that people may have different opinion or different take on these kind of statements. So Debatable statements can be found in argumentative or persuasive essay. These statements can be classified into two: premises and conclusion. Okay, there are two kind of debatable statements: premises and conclusions. In a typical argument, there is one conclusion and a minimum of one premise. A premise is the basis on which the argument is going forward. Okay, and conclusion is the result that we get after analyzing the premise. So in a typical argument, or in a typical argumentative essay, there is one conclusion and a minimum of one premise. The premises are assertion that leads to a conclusion. And what are the important features of argumentative essay? The writer takes a position or standpoint, and the thesis statement is a claim or argument by him. Okay, obviously, the writer of the argumentative or persuasive essay puts forth a particular idea. So he or she takes a position or standpoint, and obviously the thesis statement will be a claim or argument made by the author of the essay. The argument should be clear, logical, and convincing for the reader to accept it. We have already said that the aim of this essay is to make the reader believe what the author thinks. So the idea should be, or the argument should be, very clear and logical and convincing for the reader to accept it. The reason for having that argument and ample supporting evidence should be given. Why are we putting for this particular argument is to be explained, and we need to give supporting evidences also. An argumentative essay is considered as the most democratic of the lot. Author's claim is only one approach to the topic. Another person can come up with other claims. Okay, on the same topic, different authors can have different argument and ideas. So this can be considered as the most democratic method of essay writing or academic writing. Next one is comparison and contrast. Okay, compare and contrast. You know the meaning of compare and contrast, right? Okay, it's kind of understanding the similarity and difference. So the rhetorical mode to find out similarities and differences between two subjects. The comparison and contrast is a rhetorical mode that is used to find out similarities and differences between two subjects. A compare and contrast essay may examine two subjects by either comparing them or contrasting them, or maybe both, doing both. Okay, so this kind of essay, compare and contrast essay, may examine two subjects or two objects by either comparing them, okay, by finding the similarities, or by contrasting them, by finding out the differences, or by doing both. Okay, not outward and obvious similarities or differences, but hidden and subtle ones are taken care of. Okay, very clear similarities and differences are not explained in this kind of essays. Instead, those similarities and differences which are actually hidden and need to be read thoroughly to understand, that kind of those kind of similarities and differences are being discussed in this particular essay. There can be either full length compare and contrast essay or compare and contrast paragraphs in another essay, as we already said in the descriptive essay. Here also we can have a full length compare and contrast essay, in which from the very beginning till the end, from the introduction paragraph till the conclusion paragraph, all the paragraphs have a compare and contrast mode. In some other essays, for example in a narrative essay or in an argumentative essay, we can find one or two compare and contrast paragraphs. Okay, so this is also possible. Words and phrases used for comparison and contrast are given in the page number 58 of your textbook. Page number 58 of your page number. There are so many phrases and words which are commonly used for compare and contrast. For example, also, another difference, not only but also, another similarity, be similar, one difference, one similarity. Lot many things are there. 4.6.3 words and phrases used for signaling comparison or contrast. This is the title of that in page number 58. So please go through them to understand and equip you with more phrases and words used for comparing and contrasting. Okay, so some of the features of the or there are two methods of writing essays in this mode. Okay, comparison and contrast essays can be written in two different ways. The first method is introduction paragraph. Has thesis statement, items. Okay, introduction paragraph, thesis statement, items compared and hints to the chief difference and similarities are explained in the introduction paragraph. In the first method, thesis statement, what are the items compared, and hints some direction to the chief differences and similarities are explained in the introduction paragraph. And in body paragraph 1, similarities of the items compared is given. In the body paragraph 2, differences of the items compared are given, and it will have a concluding paragraph. So this is the first method of writing comparison and contrast essays. The second method, introduction paragraph contains thesis statement, major points to be discussed. Okay, not differences and similarities, but major points to be discussed. And body paragraph 1 discusses the first point with reference to both items. Okay, first point with reference to the both items. And body paragraph 2 discusses the first point with reference to both items. And it will have a concluding paragraph. So some examples for this is given in the page number 57 and 58, towards the end of page number 57 and in the beginning of page number 58. So you may refer them to have more idea about these two different methods of writing comparison and contrast essays. Next one is cause and effect essays. Cause and effect essays. These are essays like this happened because of that, that happened. For example, deforestation happened because of that. As a result of that, the amount of rain we get is reduced or decreased. Okay, this kind of essays are known as cause and effect. Cause means reason, and effect means it's after effect. So a cause and effect essay deals with causes, effects, or both causes and effects of an issue, a phenomenon, or an event. Okay, sometimes you are asked to write a full essay in this mode, as we already discussed in the descriptive essay and comparison and contrast essay. In this case also, we may have a full length cause and effect essay, or maybe in one or in another format of essay, one or two cause and effect paragraph occurs. So in some other occasion, the demand is to write certain paragraphs in this mode and incorporate them to the main essay, which uses other rhetorical modes. So what are the important transitional phrases often used in cause and effect essay? Accordingly, as a result, because of that, consequently, due to, for this reason, hence, if this happens, then that happens, like that. If then, in order to, maybe, due to, nevertheless, not only but also, since, therefore, this led to, thus, yet. So all these phrases are actually used in our daily conversation also in order to indicate causes or reasons. So these are the main rhetorical no transitional phrases used in the cause and effect essays. Next one is definition. Definition is a familiar term for all of you. We'll have a detailed discussion about that in the coming video.